Hello everyone, this is a video on testing your inputs and outputs. So in this video what we're going to do is we've got our 2JZ hooked up here. We've got 6 individual coils. We've got all our injectors over there. We have got our mag boost valve over there. We've got our oil control valve plugged in over there. We've got our check engine light on our cluster here, just so we can show that one as well. Okay, so what we're basically going to do now is we're going to go into the software. We're going to choose all these individual items as they are, and we're going to test them. So this is quite important, and it's part of the procedure before you want to start the vehicle for the first time. You obviously want to be 100% sure that all the outputs are correct. So we've gone through how to set up your inputs and outputs. Now this is going to verify that they are actually correct. So obviously you don't want all the coils to be wrong, and then you set the firing order in there and you go to try and crank it and everything is completely wrong. Okay, so again, this is obviously in a little series like that. So we've gone how to download the software, how to update your firmware, how to set up your inputs and outputs, and then we're going to do things like the drive-by-wire. We're going to do the testing the outputs. We'll do the testing the inputs separately just to keep the videos nice and short. And then what we're going to do is going to go how to do your base timing. So these are all the procedures that you want to go through when you first actually put everything on. So these are all the safety things that you can go through, make sure everything works 100%. So let's crack on. So we haven't got a really long video, but basically here we are in the software. Okay, and effectively all you're going to do now is you're going to go up into the corner. You've got tools, and you can go right at the top, little green tick next to it. It's called test outputs. Once you've done that, you're going to open this little screen over here. Okay, and I'm going to try and see if I can. All right, now then, don't worry so much about the things at the bottom. Just leave them as they are. For our purposes of testing it, it's going to be all relatively straightforward. So once you've opened this, you'll see you've got auxiliary 1 to 6, you've got injector 1 to 6, and you've got ignition 1 to 6, and your H bridges if you've used those to say power relay or something like that. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we're going to start on the injectors because they're right at the top. So you'd effectively click on the injector test and you just hit test. And as you can hear, I'm just going to hit it again so you can hear. So you see there. Now what I normally do is I'll take this connector off. I'll leave all of the rest connected just to be 100% sure that that is injector 1. All right, so if I hit test again, 1, 2, 3, you'll see no clicking. And I'll hit it again. And we're clicking away. Okay, so what you're effectively going to do is you're going to follow the procedure the whole way down. I'll do injector 2 just to show you, but I'm not going to go through all 6 obviously because that's just laborious. Okay, so let's go on to injector 2. Let's click that one in. So there you go. Now we've got injector 2. So I was just holding them one, I didn't push them all the way in. So I'm going to take out injector 2. So again, all the other ones are on, just to make sure nothing else clicks in the meantime. And I'm going to hit test, and we've got nothing. And I'm going to come here, and I'm going to hit test. There you go. So now I've verified not only that injector 2 is working, but it is actually in the correct place. So as you can see, labeled injector 2 there. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to the coils. Okay, so we've got 6 Denso coils in here. This is just for the testing purposes of this one. So all I'm going to do now is hit my little drop down menu. I'm going to scroll down to ignition 1. All right, and I'm going to hit test. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to hear, but if I just keep quiet. Okay. Just going to pull it up because I can make it loud if I pull the coil up. So if I just gently put the coil on, okay, there you go, that's much louder. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same principle. I'm going to leave the other 5 on. I'm going to pull that one out. Okay, and I'm going to hit test again. You can definitely hear that's working there, so that's nice and loud. So if you just give me a second, I'm just gonna right, so now I've undone ignition 1. Okay, and we've got nothing. No clicks from any other one. Put that back in again. Put it gently on top of the spark plug. There you go. Okay, so again, follow the whole procedure through. You're going to test all 1 to 6, and same for the injector, you're going to test all 1 to 6. You want to make sure that's all correct. Just bear in mind that if you do have fuel in the lines and you've got the pump running or whatever, then obviously these are going to be squirting fuel into the engine. So just bear that in mind. Ideally do this before you plug all the fuel pump in, just for safety's sake, so you're not actually squirting fuel in and filling up your inlet manifold with fuel. All right, and if the valve is open, it'll just pour into the cylinder, and when you go to crank it, hydro lock. Fun days. Okay, so that's how you test the coils. That's how you test the injectors. Again, before first startup, go through all of this just to be 100% sure. As you can see, all the harnesses that we do with the ECUs that we supply, we do go through this entire procedure, but I do still recommend, just to be 100% certain in your particular case, because if you have coils that are maybe broken or something, you can figure that out very, very quickly by doing this test. Okay, so injectors, coils done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my tools. I'm going to go show assigned outputs. So I think what we'll do is we'll test auxiliary 2, which is our check engine light. Okay, so I'm going to go into tools. I'm going to go into test outputs. I'm going to go into auxiliary 2. Now, as you can see, the check engine light is actually on at the moment because the ECU is powered up. Okay. And if I go test, there it turns off and comes back on again. Okay, so that's our that. So what we'll do now is we're going to test the auxiliary 3, which is our BBTI cam. And again, it is a little bit fuzzy in the GoPro, but I do have the video where we set up all the inputs and outputs so you can see all of this in much better quality. So we're going to go, and that's going to be auxiliary 3. So again, there is a little green tick directly in there. Sorry, I'm just going to show you the one way, but there is a little green tick there that says output test, so you can just click that. So we're going to go to auxiliary 3. Okay, and as you can hear, that's the little solenoid going in the oil control valve. Just going to pull that connector off. So again, I like to do it like that just to be 100% certain. So I've hit test, we've got absolutely nothing, clicking away. Put that back on again, hit test. I know that's working, that's connected, so that's absolutely fine. Okay, and next one we're going to do is our MAC boost valve. So again, I'm just going to go to show assigned outputs. Our boost solenoid is in auxiliary 5. So we're going to go test outputs. We're going to go auxiliary 5. And here's the valve. Yeah, you can hear it working. Okay. So again, I'm going to unplug this one. Okay, so that's unplugged now. And if I hit test again, absolutely nothing. Okay, so it's a nice little sanity check just to make sure everything is still working when you go through. Now, obviously I've gone through a few little outputs and so on and so forth, but basically that's how you do it. You want to test all your outputs, make sure everything is correct before you go to start your engine. What we're going to do now is I'm going to split them up. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test all the actual inputs. So that's going to be things like coolant temp sensor, intake air temperature sensor. Okay, what else we've got input wise? We've got fuel and oil pressure. So I'm going to use compressed air into our sensors, and I'm going to plug them into the individual locations, and then obviously we're going to see the data coming up on the screen. Okay, so that's be the next video, but hopefully this is helpful. And again, if you guys have anything we want to go into specific detail, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Go to our Facebook page, Phoenix Engine Management, send us a message there. We'll do videos on whatever particular things that you guys want to know about. Okay, but for now, I'm going to go through the very basics of these videos. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.